Presenting now is Èkó Ayobami. He is a musicologist cum composer whose research focuses on popular music and Nigerian art music. His works integrate transcriptional analysis with socio-cultural discourses of African music. He has been actively teaching courses in music theory across various educational levels in Nigeria, and most recently at the Department of Performing Arts and Music of Ajayi Crowther University. He is the composer of the Lagos State University International School Anthem, and his opus includes several published and unpublished works, comprising choral and orchestral pieces for which he still seeks opportunities for performance and publication. He will be presenting What is Afrobeats Musicologising? The definition of a globalized Nigerian music genre.
Thank you very much. I feel very important with the way the introduction is going. I hope I don't fall mess up the hype. So before I continue, the title was misread. So it is What is Afrobeats, not What is Afrobeats Musicologising. So here's the correct one here. Thank you. So, and also before I proceed, I want to greet everybody. I recognize our fathers here and fellow scholars. So we are going to be looking at, or I now want you to look at with me, what is Afrobeats and how do we define it as a genre, as a Nigerian genre. Now, this title, of course, is a working one, and many times in the middle of the work, I have thought of rewriting and writing, but at the end of the day, it's not a published paper. So, please, can you play one of the videos for me, sir? So, he's going to be playing two of my transcriptions in Afrobeats. Now, this is to give you an idea of what I have been doing, transcribing Afrobeat tracks and trying to see what's happening in the work, and sometimes just for fun. Okay, can you play the second one? So the purpose of doing this is for you to see, because in the course of the discussion, I might not be able to show transcriptions, but at least you know that I'm not speaking in abstract. I have actually looked at the works, in details. So also, I'm advertising to you that I do transcription very well. Yeah. So, okay. Are you the media? I begged the convener yesterday to play for me. He did not. So I have to do it myself. All right, thank you very much. They are not paying to enjoy everything. Thank you. All right, so what is Afrobeat? What is Afrobeat? Now, this question is, I've been racking my head around it because a lot of people, now, if Professor Ajayi will not be, will bear with us that we keep referring to him, because this conference is like him calling us to come and talk about him. So yes, the issues are there that African music has been written in various lights from the outside, and then we are now looking at it from the inside, and a lot of other people have lent their voices even before and after his own interventions. Oh, sorry. So now, my own worry is that Afrobeat, as the term Afrobeat is now used to refer to a collection of, or let's say a summation of contemporary West African musics, and I want to argue that there is Afrobeats as a genre in Nigeria, that hypernym, like some people called it, might erase that from the Nigerian music, popular music continuum. All right, you see people saying that, yes, somebody said that it includes all the contemporary West African music instead of a definite genre. Somebody supported and said, okay, it's a catchphrase that exerts market force. I won't argue with that, because people who are listening to it from overseas look at Ghana, the music from Ghana, look at music from Nigeria. Okay, everything is sounding somehow alike, and then everything is Afrobeats. So, and somebody else says that, okay, in addition to being, that catchphrase is like a social and aesthetic category within the diaspora. Now, all these exists, and somebody now offered an apology. Hancock was saying, well, this term, this hypernym, that so-called now, would not be, is not in an attempt to belittle the cultural diversity in West Africa. It's just, but I'm saying that, is it not doing just that? And there are a lot of artists in the studio right now playing music that is not even Afrobeat today. And when we just refer to everything as Afrobeat, are we not erasing their efforts, so to say? So, and if you ask me now, what is a genre? All right, I'll take from Ayobade, who said it's a musical expression with peculiar sonic and aesthetic qualities. Thank you very much, sir. So we can say that if we are going to go by that definition, so how does that apply to Afrobeats? Now, the soundscape that I'm talking about, we know it. Everybody can hear it, you can feel it, and you know that this thing is Nigerian. We hear it follows a it did not just spring up. It follows a progression, a history before it became Afrobeat, and we can identify it even before the term Afrobeat, was the label Afrobeat exists, and then some people now think it or deem it to be, a hypernym of that describes the West African, contemporary West African. So can you play the first audio, sir? Now, this is what I downloaded online like 5 years ago when I was searching for Afrobeats soundtrack, and the loop popped up. I downloaded it, and what does that tell me? It means there's something called Afrobeats. There's a style, you understand, called Afrobeats. And this second one, it's a recent work by, guess who? Please pause it, sir. You wouldn't have guessed that this is work by Asha. Now, Asha has never been introduced, has never introduced herself as an Afrobeat musician. It's okay, sir. Thank you. You understand? And we nobody here, I don't think anybody here, it would be faulty to say, Asha is Afrobeat. It means that even though she is also a contemporary musician, is she not? Her work is not Afrobeat. But this particular track, by the time she released it as part of a last album titled V, you see, she also decided to give people Afrobeats. And of course, it was registered as Afro. It does mean that there's Afrobeat, and there are other, contemporary musical expressions even within Nigeria. All right, so I'm arguing for the existence, or say pre-existence now, of Afrobeat as a distinguishable genre in Nigeria, even before, thank you, sir. So these are my questions. Like, what are the distinctive features now, and how does it relate to the earlier and contemporary genres in Nigeria? Then, how does it apply to, now? All right, so what I have done is transcription analysis, like I said, and I'm also trying to situate Afrobeats within a broader intellectual history, because I don't want it to, of course, not that I don't want it now. I can't, it's just that it wouldn't be thorough of me to say that there's Afrobeats, but how did, we get to Afrobeats? So I started out trying to engage music on Spotify. It started in 2024. This curiosity, like Afrobeat, top 10 Afrobeats in 2024, and the list came. I have this Gwagwalada, Lonely at the Top, and these songs that were trending in that time. But later, while working on it, I discovered that I had to look at additional works to, as part of the discussion. So now, Afrobeat and its historicity in Nigeria. Afrobeat surfaced in the early 2010s. The term now, that's why I put it in code. The term Afrobeat surfaced in early 2010s and has been adopted as a label for, now that's all I've been saying. So now, Afrobeat versus Afrobeat is, Afrobeat without the S versus, with the S now, versus the one without the S, is one of the conversations that that is engaged in the discussion of popular music generally in Nigeria. But whenever Afrobeat now is now in the foreground of the discussion, it will always come, that comparison will always come. So well, time will not permit, I would have added a lot of literature that I have engaged. But a lot of people keep imposing Afrobeat, Fela's Afrobeat now, on Afrobeats, as if Afrobeat, it directly gave birth to it. Now, there is a particular, I think Osiebe was saying that Afrobeats, with the S now, is a technological, there's a way he phrased it. Let me quickly look for it. It's important I say it the way he said it. Pardon me. Okay. Yes, electronic replica. Yes, and I find that faulty because he initially has defined Afrobeat as, a hybrid of West African elements and so on and so forth. So how do you now confine it to just a replica of Fela's Afrobeat? And if you look at Fela's work, people have also researched that it itself is a function of hybridity. It fused highlife, jazz, and so on and so forth, in his work. And then one striking thing, if at all, that stood Fela's Afrobeat out of others is that he uses his lyric as a tool for political commentary, and he's an activist, stood by that. And not to say that he doesn't have songs that is just entertainment, but he's always, if you mention Fela, one thing that stands him out. But if you look at the music dissected, you see that it is still a function of hybridity, something. It's not in isolation. Highlife is there, and in fact, maybe Juju, yes, eclecticism that Dr. Obot was talking about yesterday. Yes, indigenous eclecticism. So I could say that maybe it's because of the name, the phonic resemblance now in the name that makes people want to by force impose Afrobeat on. Not to say that, not to in any way belittle Fela's influence, actually, not to say that the artists actually will adapt Fela's music one time or the other. But Osiebe actually did that in his paper, trying to bring examples. You can even bring 100 examples. I would say it's still not enough because it is infinitesimal. Sorry, if that grammar is not too big. To the number of, even in a single year, if you go on Spotify, what is coming out of Nigeria alone, called Afrobeats, it is, and if you look at it, I have looked at works that some people will just, adapt highlife, and that's it. Joromi by, what's her name now? Simi. Is it Afrobeat? It is highlife. It's not just because it is titled Joromi, but if you break it down, you will see the guitar, she used it somewhere, but it might not be, in the foreground. She, various other previous genres, Fuji, everything is pouring into Afrobeat. So, but the tag has caught on, all right, and we just have to, stick to Afrobeats now. If at all, if not, I would have liked to change the name to something else. All right, so now one genre that, we can say that links directly to Afrobeats in the Nigerian popular music continuum now would be Nigerian hip-hop. That is something I have observed. And you see, sorry, this is, of course, you know it's AI generated. And the AI messed up the prompt. I did this like 10 times. But, so this interception point is supposed to be here. All right? Now, the Nigerian hip-hop as direct ancestor of Afrobeat. Now, these are all the genres pre-1980s now, okay? But at somewhere around that point, you see us. Now, I'm not also claiming that I own all this information. This Bogi did a lot of this by categorizing the stages of development in Nigerian hip-hop in 4 categories, actually. The first one is mimesis, how the artists were, everything they do, DJs and everything, just directly copying whatever is happening in America. And yes, so from there, he said there's a stage of domestication. Domestication, putting now our languages and, the dress. We don't always have to wear jeans and do, bandana, graffiti and everything. Gradually, it started changing, and then we have what he calls the localization, of Afrobeat, say indigenization, of Nigerian hip-hop. Now, gradually, it is not just about language. It is now embodying the African rhythm. So instead of just the pop and everything, we now started having something. I'm coming to that. That's one of my the key features I'm trying to bring out in Afrobeat. But to say that at this point, now there's an interception. I am saying that even this is where Afrobeat started from. That rhythm that is changing, not just the language now, but rhythm. And then the language, then we now have not just the language trying to sound Western, American, with the way they speak the Yoruba in the world. Now, tonal inflection, the prosody, everything is now working in with the indigenous system. So, of course, Afrobeat now, at this point, people now started observing. Everybody can feel it. If you compare, you can now hear that the sound is different. Before somebody now observed and say, oh, okay, I think this is Afrobeat. Of course, something similar is happening in Ghana and maybe other West African countries. I'm confining my work to Nigeria now. Do you understand? So, of course, part of my recommendation is that maybe myself or somebody else will take it up from there. And so that is the birth of Afrobeat. And the defining features. Yes, indigenous eclecticism. You can also argue that indigenous eclecticism is also part of what the people who define Afrobeat as Afrobeats now, as the hypernym now. You can say, yes, it is still the same thing. Okay, I'm not going to debunk that. Then global pop elements, clarifies and blah, 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 you find that too. I'm not arguing that. Other features. But, okay, before I move on to that part, Nigerian vocalism is a term now that I'm going to, of course, this is an ongoing work, but I'm still going to harp on it. When you aggregate all this, it produces a distinctive Nigerian vocalism. I am borrowing, I am taking it from Onyeji's African vocalism in art music. So, like I said, it's still something I'm going to work on. Now, rhythm as the main defining feature, that rhythm is changing. The 3-2-2-3 bell pattern, you can hear it in Asha's music. Before she did that, nobody called her work Afrobeat. But once she did that, everybody identified, this is Afrobeat. Do you get now? You download the soundtrack of the internet, say Afrobeat. That is what you get. That is what you get. And everything in the music revolves around it. The melody weaves around it. And, it is... So, rhythm as the main thing. Because of time. Now, Afrobeatising. It means that it is even possible to Afrobeatisize. There's no other word I want to use now. So if it is Afrobeat, if the singing does not need rhythmic adjustment to fit in that, that bell pattern. But other features and whatever is also there, okay? But when you now hear songs that were not Afrobeat, that are now fitted into that rhythm, that is Afrobeatising. And it is a common thing. Musicologists, what he's doing is Afrobeat, sizing. Okay, I don't have time and I don't want to be, I don't know if I can borrow 2 more minutes from the discussion time. It's still my discussion. So now, converting, so you convert a piece from any foreign or non-Nigerian genre, you can do it. Anybody can do it. I might not be able to explain the processes now, maybe part of the future research, but it works. And also a song in different genre can be, Afrobeatized. See, we do it unconsciously, even in the church, all right? Now, so my final discussion, things I will still even love to discuss more because now I don't have the time. So when the music is not associated to a single genre, it's most likely Afrobeats. Like what I'm seeing now, the Afrobeats hypernym now is there, all right? But there are music that does not fit into this genre definition of Afrobeat, but they still include the eclecticism, the global pop elements, and so on that makes it Afrobeats in the West African, Pan-African definition. So now there are non-musical aspects too of Afrobeats that we need to consider, like the dance and so on and so forth. So a conclusion, I will say to conclude because I have not even, this is not a definite conclusion. So I will just say that Afrobeat is a distinct sound. It will still be distinguishable if a Chinaman, a Chinkola we call them, decides to sing it in China and just does what these guys are doing. You will still identify it in the work, all right? So thank you very much. Let me stop here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sure we have questions. We have a lot of material to work on here. Okay, let's start from Professor Mojola.
I know what you are thinking now, Èkó. It's like any money loan shady. I mean, I like it's analytical. There is passion and there is thoroughness. But you have to pray that AI will not continue to be your nemesis. So I think one ultimate question will be, what ultimately are you going to achieve with this process of disambiguating? Then, going back to the word nemesis, I think a potential nemesis to your project will be how to deal with the burden of history. For example, when you mention Joromi, I just thought of Victor Wifo, not what's his name, Simi. So and that question is, who is listening to Afrobeats? What are they hearing? When was the word Afrobeats first used, and with reference to what? Was this word created in London, in a London studio? And what music were they referring to? Was it Nigerian Afrobeats? Maybe no, I can't remember. But all those things you mentioned, going back to the burden of history, is that when you keep disambiguating, you are going to get to a point where you won't know where to go, because the 3-2 thing is pre-colonial African music thing that manifests in different parts of the world. 3-2 hemiola. That's the foundation for African rhythm. The bell pattern is always 3-2. Happening. So if that is the case, and I'm hearing 3-2 as a fundamental African thing, so which comes first? Is it the musical essence or the name Afrobeats? And it seems to me that the musical essence predates the very word Afrobeats. So that's what I mean by the burden of history, because it's a foundational thing, and it could be why people hear that thing and they say it's Afrobeats, because the label Afrobeats have been used at some specific points in time to refer to that kind of music. So you may also have to move your historical trajectory far behind to pre-colonial era to see how the 3-2 was functioning and will precondition anybody who has a profound knowledge of African music as thinking that these are all elements of Afrobeats. And the points that you listed there, they will apply to anything, 3-2 and so on and so forth. Maybe the point that you can talk about the Nigerian Afrobeat will be when you're talking about the language, when they are singing. Yeah, so in summary, how are you going to do this process of disambiguating against the potential nemesis of the burden of history? Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Prof. We have few hands online. Let's go online quickly. Then we'll come back to, and please just let, again, time is not our friend today. We just need to find a way to manage things. Okay, let's go online quickly. Dion, are you set? Okay, yes. We can hear you. We can hear you.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes.
Great. Dr. Èkó, I think this is fantastic work. I think it's so important that we are analyzing this music. I work with Amapiano in South Africa. And my question for you is quite a quick one. Are there other ways that we can transcribe this music? Obviously, you're using sort of, like a Western notation. I've used that as well for Amapiano. But I've also been experimenting recently with like using graphs, like spectrographs, using wave tables and stuff like that. And then also I produce Amapiano on DAWs like FL Studio, and I know that Afrobeats uses the same. Is there a way that we can maybe incorporate the way that producers who make the music are seeing the music in the way that we analyze the music as well? Just keen to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay, do you want to quickly respond to that? And also Professor Majola's
initial
point.
I did not quite understand what...
Is there a way you can analyze it without staff notation?
Without staff notation?
Yeah, conceptualizing the idea yourself, yeah.
Yes, actually. But so maybe I thought wrong, but the way we have been groomed is that, to show that, okay, I know what I'm saying. Now, this is an ongoing problem that we have been addressing, but I feel that in addition to maybe other analysis that I'm going to do, whatever I'm going to do, I should still present, to show that, putting for example, the rhythmic pattern that I'm talking about, putting it on the staff and putting the melody against it, I can see, I can feel it without the melody, without the staff. But how do I explain it that what I have in mind, what I have pictured, what I have sensed, something I grew up listening to put it on I would say a conventional way of communicating it to people, especially in this setting. Yes, in this, if I was talking to somebody who is not a musicologist, because they don't even understand that. But I think being a musicologist, one of the ways I can let you know that, make you understand that I understand it also is put it on the staff too. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do one more online. Nancy Masabi, can we have you, please? Masabi, yeah. Masabi.
Hello, I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Masasabi is my name. I'm a lecturer at Maseno University in Kenya. I'm also a musicologist. I'm happy to listen to this presentation, but also sometimes borders on some of the things that I've been working on. And I would like to ask the presenter to just help me to understand. We have high life and juju as examples of African popular music within the continent that arise from West Africa, where Nigeria is. And you're also talking about Nigerian Afrobeat. So I want to know, what is the difference between high life, juju, and Nigerian Afrobeat? That is one. And then two, because I don't want to come back again, you said that you're very good at transcription, which is very good. I think I should give you a clap for that you do very well in transcription. So I wanted to find out, if I am to give you Kenyan popular music such as Benga, would you be able to transcribe it in the same way? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'm happy that you were following. So, sorry, I'm looking for a slide here that answers the question directly. Okay, actually, now she asked, if I understand, she wants to know, how the Afrobeats differ from Juju and High Life. Now, when I was discussing Afrobeatsizing or Afrobeatsization now, so to call it, I was talking about the fact that some indigenous or previous genres now also have that rhythmic configuration, that bell pattern in it already. So how does Afrobeatization apply to that? It is now, those ones do not really engage the global pop framework. So if Afrobeatizing now would be, infusing that into high life or juju, so that's what makes it Afrobeatizing. And an example of that would be to say Simi's I Masiko, all right? I Masiko by Ebenezer Obey is classic juju. Thank you, sir. So there are a lot of people who are also Afrobeatizing by the rhythm is already there. Their music already engage that bell pattern, but the global pop framework is what is missing in my definition of to fit it into my definition of Afrobeats as a genre.
Yeah. Okay, definitely let's come back quickly.
Sorry, sir. And to answer her, I can do transcription, anything that makes sound. I noted. Thank you very much.
Okay. Can we have Professor Ms. Loco, please?
Thank you, Mr. Èkó, for that presentation. While presenting, I was just processing your presentation, and my question is, whose perspective should ultimately determine what qualifies as an Afrobeat? The audience, the musicians, the music industry, the scholars. I was just pondering on that presentation. I want you to put more light to that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Something I removed from the slide that I thought I was going to use as a punchline before was that I'm not intending, it's not my intention to swim against the tide. And the tide I'm referring to is the economic, or say the people who determines the market. All right, maybe they are unseen hands, but you know what I'm talking about. People who put labels on things, and the ones who sell the music. And the artists now, some of them will say, well, they have one or two to say against Afrobeat. Some say, my own is Afrofusion. Some will say, my own is Afrofunk. But at the end of the day, nobody, no Afrobeats with the S now. Artists, nobody that has been designated as Afrobeats music has actually refuted, me, I'm not doing Afrobeats, all right? It is Afrobeat with Fela's children that are saying that they find it faulty that Afrobeats, the name. So the question, I'm not sure I can also answer it, because the music is there. We are engaging it as scholars, and the name, we didn't give it. So I'm also, like I said, I would have maybe changed the name if I have the power, but of course, I'm not going to. So I'm also swimming against the tide to say that it is wrong for people looking at the music from outside to say it is, West African music, like that, all right? So, but I am just saying that even while that is true, it can also be true that there is an existing or pre-existing music style in Nigeria that is Afrobeat, that we know that, so just like saying classical music, there is a classical period, but there is actually, there's classical music and there's a classical style, all right? So those two can exist too, all right? So I don't know if I answered your question, man.
Okay, thank you so much for this session. Of course, the conversation continues. Definitely, we can, yeah. So thank you so much as we move to the next session. Thanks.